Good evening, America. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How y'all doing out there in the promised land? Hi, welcome to another edition of Incarceration to Incorporation. That's where this is the show where we have a transition back into society, where we try to show everybody that it's not over just because you got in some trouble. So we want to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing here. Today we have I don't know where my host, my co-host, AB, he was on live earlier, following some woman through a mall. He was live now, following a woman through the mall, buying some tennis shoes. Now, where he at now, I have no idea. Somewhere in Raleigh, North Carolina, going through a mall. Is he close to Raleigh or Charlotte? Raleigh. He up near Raleigh, going through a mall, buying tennis shoes. So, I guess he'll either pop on or he'll miss tonight. He might be stuck in traffic, or he might have got the blues when she brought those tennis shoes. But tonight we have our favorite prison guard. You can see he's still dressed in his uniform.
Hey.
Keith Richardson, welcome tonight.
God bless.
Okay, Keith is a talented person, very, very, very talented person. And the great thing about Keith is that he cares. Keith cares. He just isn't in the system guarding some bodies. He actually cares about what goes on in the system. And so we want to. That's why we bring Keep On so much. We bring him on because he does care. He does have the propensity to give a damn about what happens to people in the system. So I congratulate you, my brother, on
Thank you.
being a man of God instead of
Thank you.
being a man of the system.
Hey, one thing, first thing first, I got to give all praises and glory to God. Before you put on any uniform, you a man first, you know, and it could be me behind those same prison walls. It could be, and the people that's watching, I just want to send this message out. First of all, one of the greatest human beings that walked this planet was incarcerated. They called him Jesus Christ. He had to stand before Pontius Pilate. So don't let nobody pull you down spiritually, mentally, or physically and have you believe that you cannot do and keep your dreams going and fulfill all of your destiny. You may think that it's too late. You may think that I spent so much time doing things wrong, this, that, and the third, and all this time is gone past. Hey, sometimes you set it down just a little bit before you make that great rise to the top. So just keep doing what you're doing and know that you're going to be able to make it once you get out and you get out here in this world. God bless, no stress, stay the best. I can't hear you.
I forgot I muted myself because I was talking to the producer. Keith has several things. He has a book that he's written. He has a CD that he's produced because he's a Christian rapper, and he's also a prison guard that actually cares about what happens in the system and that we should keep these kids up out of there. He has a passageway to prison presentation that he's going to give tonight. It'll be about 20 minutes. Y'all tune in and watch it. And then we'll have questions after that. If anybody got any questions, then you can put your questions in the question box over there in the comment box, and we can go from there. Hey, Mike, tuning in from Tennessee, it's my buddy there. And then we'll answer all the questions after you get through with your presentation. What he wants to show you tonight is just how it is in that system and why you should do everything to save these kids from going through it. Because either when they go in, they're not going to come out the same. You know, it takes a tough cookie to come out different than how you went in, to the good side, rather. So we're going to let you start with that whenever you get a chance. And
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay, what I'm going to show you today is a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation of what it's actually like to be inside of the prison system. I don't know. You let me know if you can see that because I can't. It says passageway to incarceration. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we're going to do is let's start out by seeing what's going on at Central. All right. In Wake County, the inmate capacity inside the prison itself is 752 inmates. Inmate gender is male. The custody level is closed. If you don't know what closed means, that means that it's a closed facility, maximum security. We have a staff of 1,310 people. I'm going to read this to you. It says Central Prison in Raleigh has been in continuous service since 1884. It serves as an administration point into the prison for adult male felons sentenced to 20 years or more, and is the main medical and mental health center for male inmates. It also houses special population, including death row and safekeepers. Now, I want you to think about something. You coming into a prison that has been in continuous service since 1884. What type of conditions do you think it is built like? It's some prisons, as my man said earlier, built in what, 1994. That really ain't up to code. So what do you think a prison is built in 1884 look like?
That's
now,
right.
while security requires that certain inmates remain in their cell, there are more than 260 inmate job assignments to include working in the kitchen, the laundry, or the canteen. Inmates also work as barbers, janitors, and clerks. Inmates can attend substance abuse groups, therapy meetings, and attend Bible studies or worship service. Now, we are in the age of COVID. And I just told you that you have people working these job assignments, everything from working in the kitchen, the laundry, the canteen, they work as barbers and janitors. How well do you think we can contain the COVID virus? What do you think about that?
Yeah, you can't contain it at all.
So we can't contain it at all.
At all.
Not in that type of environment. Prisons aren't designed for this COVID. Let's just be honest. It's overpopulated and it is understaffed. So when I'm telling you, do not come to prison. When I'm talking to these kids and I'm telling them, when you are at home where your house is clean and your house is germ free and your house, you have the things that you want, heat, water, the things that you take for granted, you will miss the security of being at home and being comfortable in that environment. Don't come to prison. Do not come here. That's just the bottom line. Now, with that said, there's a lot of people that will tell you that they ain't afraid to go to prison. Call the cops. Take me to jail. I'm ready to go to prison. I ain't scared. Well, this gentleman that you see on the screen, he received almost 7 years for an assault charge. Many of you have had assault charges, but his charge was, let me get it correct, it was assault on a female charge. So now he got 7 years for assault on a female charge. Now, normally what I would do is run this video and let it play out, but we're not able to do that at this point for technical reasons and time. But what I will do for those that want to see this on, say, like on a Zoom call or something like that, leave your name and everything, and I will show you this video and another young lady receiving their sentence. And I want you to hear the fear and see the fear and the screaming and the hollering that takes place when individuals receive these sentences. It's a lot different when grandma prayers that you were relying on to get you through this point didn't touch the judge's heart and you got that time. Because now you're coming into an environment where violence in the prison is prevalent. I want you to take a long, hard look at this photo. This is what you see every day. Not some days, every day somebody is going through this or worse. This is called, what's that?
I say, wow.
Yeah, this is called a $1.50. You know what a $1.50 is? That's 150 stitches going down the side of your face to where they physically have to sew your skin from the inside and outside. Now, you might say, well, why would somebody receive a $1.50 inside a prison where they make shanks? And if you're in a gang and I'm giving you a direct order to go over and stab a rival or to murder somebody and you refuse to do it, you can receive what is called a $1.50 across your face.
By refusing to do something that the gang leader told them to do?
By refusing to do what the gang leader has purposely told you to do, he is going to make sure that everybody on that block know that you refuse, and you're going to get this thing called a $1.50 across your face.
And how do they administer that? You say the shank. You want to tell the people what a shank is?
A shank is a weapon made by many different things in many different forms inside of a prison. It could be anything from plexiglass to any type of objects that very creative, very smart, intelligent human beings in prison.
Toothbrush, shave down,
Anything, brother, anything.
tan top.
I've seen people take baby oil when they outlawed this. Now you're not allowed to warm up because they used to let them warm stuff up with the microwaves. But a guy would take baby oil and put it in a cup and put it in the microwave and warm it up and dash it in somebody's face. If they're working in the kitchen, it's nothing for them to get hold to a pan of hot grease. You know what I mean? And that skin will rub right off your body. And if you're watching this and you're seeing this and you know that somebody in your family is on the verge of getting in trouble with the law, please hit that number one, hit them notification buttons, send this out and share it so that these kids can see what's waiting for them. So you don't have to have them come back home and with this $150 coming across their face. They won't never have the same self-confidence that they had prior going. And also let the ladies know they get it too. Because a lot of time women think that, I'm not going to face anything like that. The consequences of violence in prison. Again, at this point, I would show this thing called a neutral loaf. If anybody's been in prison, is being locked down and had to have some type of disciplinary action brought against them, it's a thing called a neutral loaf. It is the most horrible tasting patty of mixed together vegetables and things that they serve you when you have done something that, say, like you assaulted a guard. You may have taken some feces and gotten some plexiglass and mixed it all together. And as the inmate walked across your cell, you hit him in the face with a big old patty of doo-doo. I'm trying to get it clean. And the first thing anybody get hit in the face with some feces, the first thing you want to do is what? Wipe your face. But if it's plexiglass in it, what is going to happen? It's going to cut your skin, and then that feces is going to seep into your blood, and you're going to get a blood infection from the feces, and Lord knows what type of disease they may have, and they might have HIV, MRSA, C. diff, you name it. That's tied up in that waste. So you do not want to face these things because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And with this school to prison pipeline, they're starting very early to target these kids to make sure that those kids that don't know how to read at a certain level, by the 3rd and 4th grade, they use those test scores to build prisons according to those reading levels. You got to help these kids get these reading levels up. This is the way that they are using this to determine who and how many they're going to build prisons and where they're going to build those prisons. So we need to do something to deter that. You got anything you want to add, brother?
No, I'm just sitting and listening and taking it all in. I ask my questions on the end.
Okay. If anybody out there have any questions, please type them in. You got anything you want to know? Now's the time to ask before somebody you love is facing something like this.
Yeah, just send your questions or comments in, and Keith or I will try to answer anything that you got.
Without a doubt. Also, mass incarceration companies. There are companies that are getting big bucks off profiting off people's pain. Now, normally people don't talk about these companies, but hey, we gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Let's go ahead on and find out what these companies are, the name of these companies. I'm gonna just give you 6 right out the gate. You could do your own research on them. One is called Global Telec. It's the companies that are inside the prison. When you use to make those phone calls, they're charging X amount of dollars. They might be charging you $17 for a $17 for a 15-minute phone call. Then you got Horizon. This is one of the healthcare facility peoples that works inside of the prison. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think health care is bad outside of prison, you can imagine what it's like on the inside of it. You have the GEO group. How clean do you really think a prison is? GEO group is in charge of making sure that they keep the prisons clean. Do you think that they're gonna go and buy the most expensive stuff to clean with? No. Then you have the bail bondsman industry. They charge X amount of dollars. They really jack the prices up for you to come out to make sure that you can go back to court and do the bail bonding. You have law enforcement itself with the search and seizure. They could take your property on a whim because they suspect you of doing something. And then you have the CCA. That is one of those privately owned prisons. And it's gotten so big at the privately owned prisons that they're using that as like stock. It's actually becoming up on the stock exchange. You have so many people now that are making big money off people being incarcerated, that they are continuing to use different individuals, certain rappers, certain entertainers, to keep pushing the toxic agenda of making sure that you keep repeating and using this influence to have you come back into the prison system. Maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know if anybody remember this, but there was a movie called Batman. It came out. It had this guy in there, the Joker. They had a guy come into the movie theater dressed up as the Joker, went inside and started shooting the people that was at the movie theater. This is how bad the influence of being around certain people and certain groups are, and seeing certain images portrayed on TV, movies, and through music. So this is how a lot of this stuff is getting into the kids as well as the adults, because there are some adults that are easily influenced by the imagery itself. I want to touch bases a little bit about the hip hop music and the images that are being perpetuated. The information that you are receiving in the music today is toxic. This is why music industry is able to pay their artists millions of dollars to reinforce negative imagery. So when you see an artist like 50 Cent with a gun behind his back, like in the image that I'm gonna show you, perpetuating the image of gun violence with no consequences, this is a problem. He never addresses the consequences of carrying that weapon, how much jail time you're going to get for carrying that gun, and how much extra time you're going to do if it's gang related, if you're already in the game for carrying a gun or being a habitual felon with a gun. I have a problem with that. Felonies. There are jobs in America that you cannot get if you have a felony. You have to realize that these charges you receive will not go away without paying a very expensive lawyers and legal fees. So a lot of times you see these cats perpetuating all this stuff. You see these guys like right here, the influence of negative music, the music that influence negative behavior. Here's a gentleman right here. Anybody know who this gentleman is? His name is Ice Cube. Now, back in the day, he was in a group called NWA. Now he's doing movies like Are We There Yet? He's doing a whole lot of Walt Disney movies that are more less urban and more family friendly. But back in the day, he's actually handing you a gun, talking about, here, kill yourself. Then you have Akon, or he had something called Convict Music. He had a whole record label that was based around basically being locked up. He had a song called Locked Up. Here's 50 Cent. His whole thing was get rich or die trying. I'm not rich, but I ain't about ready to kill myself neither. And last but not least, here's Ricky Rose. He's a former correctional officer, but he perpetuates this stereotype of the drug dealer, drug lord type individual that's out here moving big weight and moving big dope and doing things on that level, when actually he never had a criminal charge in his life because he worked several years down in Florida as a correctional officer. And
So they in essence these guys they just benefit off of selling this narrative that they were gangsters and half of them never did anything in their life, but they are benefiting off it, off the backs of our young people, and they're giving this, spreading this myth that this is a cool thing to do.
exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible because you got I guess you don't see 50 Cent do a whole lot of that now. He's become more aware, like you said, that he's doing other things now. Um, he's more politically conscious now. But I mentor a bunch of kids, and all they listen to is that gangster rap stuff all day long. So I had to get to the point where I said, if you got music on while you working, then I'm gonna deduct $1 every time I see you with your music on, because you can't go to work with your music on. You hear that stuff all day long, then they want to play it on the way to where they're going at. They want to play it in the back seat while they're, if I got something else on, it's just it's crazy, that
But
and this is what ruin these kids and make them think that it's okay to do the things that they do.
what is it's not even that. It's kind of like a mantra. It's like a chant. The more that I keep chanting, there was one song was like, y'all, and it was like, y'all niggas move that dope. Y'all niggas move that dope. Move that dope. Move that dope. Y'all niggas move that dope. And that's the whole hook line of the song. And they're just chanting it over and over and over and over again. But it's never about y'all niggas get a job, or y'all niggas go to college, go to college. It's never like y'all get married, have a family. There's never anything about love. There's never anything about respect. So they try to keep this thing in your mind that you are less than. So they keep trying to perpetuate this all the time in your mind to feel lower as a human being, and you can become the image that they have perpetuated you to be. You will never see this. And I know I'm finna get riled up. I know, I don't get nervous. I ain't gonna take it but too far. But you will never see another group of class of people. You will never see Asians coming up here downgrading themselves. You will never see any Caucasians coming up here making a song about calling they women's whores and bitches, and how they gonna give them Molly and get them drunk and take them to the trap house and beat them, and celebrating anything negative, because A, the record companies will not allow it, and B, the people that are catering to it, that are perpetuating and making money off it, will not allow it. Michael Jackson back in the day had a song called "They Don't Really Care About Us," and in this song he said, "Sue me, Jew me, kick me, kike me." Do you know they made Michael Jackson apologize and take that word out of his song? But throughout all of this gangster rap and all this other stuff, they got people up here that look like you and me talking about shoot each other, kill each other, don't let me catch you slipping, don't let me, all this crazy mess, and nobody boycotts it.
And the bad part about it, though, Keith, is that these kids are taking action on a lot of this stuff, because you have these different gangs in different cities. And what they do is they make these rap songs.
Uh-huh.
And they make these rap songs. I think your last one left because it's not up anymore. But they make these rap songs about each other. And then next thing you know, they're killing each other.
Exactly.
And it's crazy. And and you touched on it right before, because that's what I was about to say. They steal everything we do. They steal everything we do. Whatever we do, other races steal it. And that's not nothing to be racist. It's something to be really proud of. They steal they love everything in our culture. But they have never stolen our raps. and to rap, just like what you were saying. They have never degraded their own race and made rap songs. They don't want to do rap. They left that to us so that we can destroy our own communities. It is a plan. I wrote about that today. It's a plan that they have. It's diabolical plan that they have to destroy us. And it's a system that we don't see. It's a little bit here. It's something they're doing here. It's something they're doing here. Welfare over here. Rap music over here. Food stamps over here. The guns they place over here. The drugs they place right here. All these things come together to destroy our community. The only reason that we're still around is because it's in our DNA to survive. That is the only reason. We're supposed to be wiped off the face of the earth. They have planned and planned and planned and planned our destruction, but it's in our DNA. We're like a cockroach. An atom bomb can't even kill us.
And here's another thing. If we really want to make a change about the way that we are being portrayed, I salute you, my brother, because you are using media the right way. You are addressing issues that the preacher don't address, the politician don't address, the teachers don't address, and you're speaking on facts, not feelings, but facts. And a lot of people get caught up in their feelings, and this is why they can't hear the facts. We are not a billion, but $1 trillion people. We make more money. We are the richest people of color on the planet here in America. But it's also about what we spend the money on. We can no longer afford, as Black men, to go out there and buy these damn rims and put them on the most piece of shit car that we can find, and then turn around and get upset because we don't own a vehicle that works. We are hustling backwards. We cannot do that. We can no longer take care of our pet bulldogs better than we do our damn kids. If we out here got kids by these ladies and we're not marrying them, that is on us. Take your dick and go home. You do not have to sleep with somebody just because they are offering you some ass. You don't have to do it. If your intent is not to marry that woman, do not lay down with this woman. If you do, then when you get up, leave your wallet there and don't say shit about what she do with you, because you had enough time to make up your mind to either. There's so many different forms of contraceptive right now. You got the sponge, the pill, the morning after the pill. You got all of these different forms of contraception. You do not have to rely on this lady to protect your best interest before you lay down with her and create a child that you're not ready for with a woman that you don't know, because everybody knows the quickest way to head to poverty is to make a whole bunch of kids, because kids are expensive. Now you got a single parent household. Of course, they want you to stay in a single parent household, because a 2-parent household means that you can put 2 of those incomes together and make a better living for that child. Instead of the child having just a laptop, now he got a laptop with Wi-Fi. This is crazy. During a pandemic, we got kids sitting at home with damn laptops with no damn Wi-Fi. So what you gonna do? Give them a laptop and tell them don't plug it into the damn outlet? Next? I mean, what's next? Can't you see that there should be no reason that these kids have laptops that was given to them by the school, and they got to still supply these kids with damn Wi-Fi too? And you got mama walking around here with a damn weave down to her damn ass from Meng Ling shop. I said it.
You're absolutely correct. I said something about that today too.
Unrealistic damn lashes. Fingernails look like raptor claws. When are we gonna start putting these kids first, man?
You're right. You're absolutely right. You can see it every day. They can't wait to go get a new outfit every weekend. You know, and we if you look last week at the malls, just look at traffic while you're traveling. The malls were packed. The traffic was terrible everywhere I went. Atlanta, Savannah, South Carolina, traffic was packed because they're spending these stimulus checks. Some people, I mean, if that's all they had to do with it, some people didn't need a damn stimulus check. Some people really didn't.
They're gonna go out and put that stimulus check on a put that down payment on a car that's gonna be repossessed in 8 damn months. It makes no sense to do these things. If you want to invest in something, invest in these kids, man. Invest in these kids.
That's right.
We should have these kids on these IXL programs. This is the best time for us to take control of our kids' education, because now that they are at home, we can monitor those kids. We can motivate those kids. We can sit there while the teacher is going over that lesson. And if we don't know it, hell, man, like I said, if we can buy rims, if we can buy them weaves, we can afford a tutor.
Yeah. Brother Bertrell, celebrity says in Miami also, he was down in Miami over the weekend, I guess, and he said Miami had, oh yeah, okay, well, with spring break, Miami had to enforce a curfew because so many Negroes came down there. What they down there for? What they going to spring break for? Why don't you just wait? They act like, you know, I guess what prison did for me was gave me patience. I you know, I still, some people say I still don't have any, but I do. It gave me patience because it really shows you that you, with all the time that you have, just wait on whatever's going to happen. These kids don't have any patience because they were down there acting a fool. And I saw some of the interviews. Some of the interviews were just terrible with these kids down there trying to celebrate. Talking about, well, Florida opened the government. They opened it and told everybody Florida was open. We're not wearing masks and we're not doing anything. But then when the kids went down there, what they did, they wanted to shut it down. They had more arrests in Miami than they had at the Capitol for all the looting and craziness that went on at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. They had more arrests in one weekend at in Miami of these kids. It's crazy.
Let me take it a little bit further, brother. Follow this now. You open the city for people to come to it, but you didn't open it up for them to come down there and act a damn fool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now they go down there, and once you get down there and you start acting a fool, then the first time is some violence. You want to turn around and blame these people for treating you like animals. Let me tell you something. You got to stop acting like a damn animal. You can't go down there and start tearing up people's stuff. The next thing is you go down here, and just because they tell you that it's safe to come out, Lord knows these people are just so truthful with you. They've never lied to you before, right? These honest folks. They've never, come on, man. At some point, you have to realize that they're setting you up to get rid of you. They're doing things right now, even with this with the president that we have, Joe Biden. You know, he's talking about a $15 minimum wage increase. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, you raise this thing up to $15, and automatically you have done away with the middle class. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a middle class. They only want very, very wealthy 1%ers and very, very poor people. They're going to raise the price of juice, eggs, milk, gas,
rent.
Everything is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
You think you got problems now with people running in from across the border? Man, if you're going to pay me $15 an hour and I can take that back across the border and it quadruple in value, it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation.
Brother Bertrell said that they stimulated that whole economy in South Beach. They were spending money. They had so many people down there. There's no way I could even went nowhere near there. No, sir. They nobody had on masks. They were doing whatever they wanted to do. It ain't over yet, but they think it's over. But all they did was help spread it even further. They are prolonging the return to normalcy. You know, now here go my wife talking about you have to omit much patience when it comes to spending money. Oh yeah, because she spend money like it's water. But yeah, brother, you are a breath of fresh air for what we're trying to show people on this platform and this show particularly, that we got to save these kids some kind of way. We have to do whatever we can to make sure that all of them don't go in the system. We can't save all of them, but we can save some of them. So all of them don't go in the system. And that's what we got to try to do, to make sure that all of them don't go in the system. Some of them going. We got to make sure all of them don't go. Some of them are just hard-headed. And I know you being a prison guard right now in North Carolina, you see it firsthand every day. And we commend you for sharing what you share with us and caring more than anything, because it shows your heart. It shows that the God in you, that you care, you know.
One thing I want to say this too. A lot of these cats aren't going to tell you about what really takes place in there, because when it gets late night and you hear those guys crying and the fear that they face, you know, of being incarcerated, you don't understand that all that yelling for mama and, you know, things of that nature, that, you know, it's crazy, because you see all this energy of this male Superman until they get inside the prison, and then it fades away very quickly. Some people can hack it, very few people can, because mentally it breaks you down.
Yeah, my wife said you bring it raw and uncut like the Rabble host. The Rabble is my Wednesday show, and we just bring it to you real, uncut. We give it to you like it's supposed to have it, you know. And she said that's how you're bringing it, and that's what people needs to hear. You know, they used to have a show back in the day called Scared Straight. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I don't know whether it still come on or some form of it still comes on or not, but some of the kids, they want to be so tough. I can tell you something that happened to me.
Okay.
I was just with some candidates. I had my boys out working, holding their signs on corners. I went and picked them up, and instead of taking them home, I took them to the park to meet the candidates, because you know sometimes you don't meet the candidate. They see me, and then I'm working for the candidate. I got them working, so they're getting paid. All they care about is, you know, they're getting paid. So I take them home. I drop them off. I come home. I'm home 20 minutes. 20 minutes. One of the little boys that I'm tutoring done shot two of the ones that I just dropped off. And then the bad thing about it is they were related. They're cousins, first cousins. So and I do all I can to try to save these kids. They're all right when they're with me. They got some male um,
testosterone.
leadership.
Yeah.
Somebody giving them instruction, somebody that they can halfway listen to. So but when they're not and they listening to each other, the world is theirs. They do what they want to do. And so it's kind of disappointing sometimes, but then you see where you can help these kids. That's all you can do, and you got to do it. I bring them here to the studio now and train them, trying to help them get some skills and doing the engineering for the shows, learning the back office to what we do here. Just so we can try to get them to stay out of the street, because if they in the streets, there's trouble out there, and we're trying to keep them out there. She said he's almost as tough as my mama. I'm still scared.
Oh my goodness.
It's something else. We got about 15 minutes left, and we just want you to just tell whatever you want to say to these kids, to whatever you want to say, and things that you think that we need to change. I was really concerned about that $1.50. The $1.50. If anybody wasn't watching earlier, the $1.50 is when you're in prison and you're part of an organization in prison. They have organizations and gangs in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the state prisons. They don't too much play in the federal prison, but in the state prisons, they have it real tough. And so when you refuse to do something that the leadership told you to do, then they give you $1.50. And the $1.50 is 150 stitches. And this brother has seen it all.
One of the other things I neglected to tell you about was called PREA. PREA is the Prison Rape Elimination Act. That's where you get those acronyms from. PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act. Now, I'm gonna draw a straight line from the Prison Rape Elimination Act to something called buck busting. You ever heard of the term buck busting? This was used
back in slavery time.
That was used back in the slavery times, when they would physically take the biggest, strongest male slave and rape him to break him. This is where you get the term buck busting, to break him and make him seem less than a man. And they were also using this as a fear tactic to show that if I can do this to who you think is tough, then who you think is the strongest among you, you can imagine what I can do to you.
Right.
So that same violation of a human being is used today inside of the prison system. So much so to where they have to create a law or some type of form of regulating prison rape. And the sad part about prison rape is that it's almost acceptable in society for some reason. Because if you hear about any woman or any child or anybody being raped, you will be outraged. But if you go to prison, one of the things that they say, well, that guy got raped in prison, you don't see a lot of sympathy. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just something they do. One thing I can say is they don't have a lot of that in the federal system. In the federal system, they don't even condone homosexuality, even though they know that some people are going to be homosexual. Right. If you're caught in a homosexual act by an officer, they take your visiting list, which you can have 20 people on your visiting list.
Right.
And if they catch you and another person in a homosexual act, they will send a letter home to all 20 people on each one of the visitor lists, telling them that you were caught in such an act.
Well, they don't do that at the state level, of course, you know that.
Yeah, the
but
feds do.
Well, one of the things, and that's one of the things that I have always, wondered, they're not taking more precaution. Now, PREA is a way that they're trying to address the issue, but this is also one of those issues that and I know that men are not going to come home and say that this took place.
Oh,
because everybody you talk to gonna swear them down.
mm-hmm.
They held it down in New York. Mm-hmm. I had people giving me their canteen. I had people, everybody couldn't have been the man in the yard. Mm-hmm. Somebody was in there braiding hair. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me everybody in there was holding it down, because it's just not the truth. And then the unfairness of, after pulling your time and after being incarcerated, after people having you work these jobs, working for pennies on the dollar, once you come home, you can't get work anywhere, because you have to fill out an application. And on that application, still today, they're going to ask, were you and have you ever been incarcerated? And automatically, a lot of those applications go straight into the garbage can, because they are unwilling, even though you have pulled your time, they're unwilling to let you live it down. Now, once a debt is paid, say it, brother. You always, you know how to say it. What is it?
Once paid, the debt is no longer a debt.
There it is. There it is.
Correct. Once paid, a debt is no longer debt. When you pay, I don't let nobody hold nothing over me.
Speak, brother.
I am the master of my destiny. I don't let nobody hold nothing. You can say it, but you can't say it but once. What do you get after that? I'm not going to run and duck and hide. I'm going to tell you by evidence of this show. By evidence of this show, it tells you that I don't give a damn what you think.
There it is.
It doesn't matter what you think. So this is what I tell people every day. I'm not going to let you define who I am. I'm going to show you who I am. And that's just the fact. I take the pain away from the sting. When you put that bee, you catch that bee in your hand and the bee sting you. Mm-hmm. Ain't no sting in the bee for me. Ain't nothing you can say to me that's gonna sting me. Oh, you've been to prison, and I got all my rights back. I don't like to brag about what I do, but look at my life. My life should be the poster child for everybody coming out of prison. Everybody can't do it, but everybody should try. So, and it's unfair that they ask that question on applications, because some people come out with the greatest intentions of doing the right thing. Some people come out with hoping that society gives them another chance, and then they're turned away. And then you got some people that just can't get it, and then they go back to doing exactly what people thought they would do, but it's the system that made them go back and do it. Yes, they have a choice, and yes, their debt was paid, but if their debt is truly paid, don't ask them that question. You can run a background check to see whether the person is a murderer or a child molester or something, but a person that was selling drugs is probably going to be your best ever employee, because he's a hustler. He knows how to count money. He knows how to make things happen. So, you got to be able to look at it in a different way sometimes, because sometimes, I had this a case manager, and she told me, she said, Julius, she said, her name is Darlene Buchanan. She told me, she said, your case manager ain't even born yet. She was my case manager. She said, your case manager ain't even born yet. She said, but I've had you for over a year now. She said, but if I had a choice, I would let you out. She said, because you will never commit a crime again. She said, I try not to look at the numbers of your inmate number. She said, I look at the person and their heart, and I look at what they're saying to me to judge whether they should be out. She said, if I had the authority, I would let you out right now. But you have to be able to look at people in that way. But they look at it as just a number, you know, and that's another problem. They don't judge people by their character or by what they see in a person. They judge them only by that number, and they judge them by only that paperwork that they got in front of them. That's a problem.
And another thing, even to piggyback on that, if it hadn't been for a lot of expungements, a lot of judges, a lot of police officers, a lot of people that are in law enforcement wouldn't be working in law enforcement.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it 100. You know, you got people that have become president. You know, we got people that have become president, and you're not supposed to have any type of charge being a president. But we know that some of those guys have had some stuff washed away. You know, and what was it? Recently, we saw Donald Trump and his daughter, all of them get together and expunge people like Lil Wayne's racket. What's the gentleman that helped start Death Row?
Suge Knight.
Suge Knight. He worked with a guy by the name of Harry O, who also was heavy in the game, but through the dealing with Trump, he expunged a lot of stuff. Now, these guys are taking opportunities. These guys were like Lil Wayne, he won't really serving no time. Kodak Black got this stuff wiped away. We've been watching a lot of people get things washed away. Now, these are millionaires. But you know what they really wanted? Just another chance. Just another chance to be able to go and do things without having this thing on their back that made them a target. And they don't have to answer these questions about being incarcerated some long period ago, a long time ago, and they don't want to keep facing that. I commend you, my brother, for being able to do the things that you have done. And I know for a fact that your show and us talking today has done great healing in somebody's life. They needed to hear it. They needed to hear it raw, and you gave it to them that way. You are a brave soldier of God to be able to go out there to do the things that you do. I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to know AB. I know you out there in the mall. Get back to us, boy, quick, fast, and and to anybody out there that can hear me in the sound of my voice, I want you guys to know that you can do it. You're going to be able to make a change in your life and do things, and you're going to get away from that system. Go to my YouTube channel, Passageway to Prison 3. That's the number 3. Leave all the words together. Don't separate the words or you won't be able to find the station. Passageway to Prison 3. You have to keep all the letters together. Do not separate passageway or to prison. Don't separate none of that. Keep it all together. Make sure you go there, check out the videos. Dr. Umar Johnson is up there. Listen and get some inspiration. And God bless, man. I know you guys gonna succeed in the things that you're trying to do out there. If you want to keep helping us out and you want to keep doing the things and you enjoy this content, make sure you tune in every Friday.
Every Friday at 6 o'clock.
Every Friday at 6 o'clock. And whatever you do, go and check us out, man. Go and check us out.
Tell them how to get your book.
Please go to Amazon. Go to Amazon and order From Incarceration to Incorporation. And if you want to donate, you want to keep this thing going, you can go hit that cash app. It's $ KEYTBOO, the number 7. That's KEY. It's $ KEYTBOO. and the number 7, or you can put the number 8.
Okay. We're gonna put it all and start putting it up for you, especially on this show here. I'll make sure it's on all the screens for on the ticker and everything for the other show. I mean, for this show every Friday, we'll put it up. We got some questions. Control your own narrative. It's your story. Turn your own pages. That's correct. Because
All right.
I turned
like
the other
that.
page.
I like that.
Brother Smalls, Brother Leonard Smalls, this Dr. Pastor Leonard Smalls here. I want you to meet him. Keith, this is a strong, powerful brother right here. He said, the skill to survive the streets make you strong enough for the corporate world. The same chance take daring works in the business world. With or without a pardon, skills or skill. Without a pardon, skills are skills. That is exactly right. That is exactly right.
That's
And
true, brother.
Brother Barbie say, "Amen, my brothers." And brother, this is a prime example of a success story. Brother Leonard Smalls, he did time when he was younger, in state prison, and now he owns 3 radio stations, owns real estate everywhere. So, you can, like I said, once paid, the debt is no longer a debt.
I love it.
It's not over until you take that last breath. You can do anything you want to do. You can be anybody you want to be. Just don't try to be somebody you're not. That's all it is. And thank you for tuning in, brother Leonard Smalls, and brother Bobby, brother Betrayal Celebrity, Dr. Tanya Howard Hall. Thank y'all for your comments and everything. Mike Kelly and Anana Davis. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for commenting. Rather, I know there's other people that tuned in. But we have Brother Keith on. Brother Keith is a current state prison guard in North Carolina. And his presentation today was just showing why we need to fight harder than ever to keep these kids out of these prisons. Because once they enter, if they don't have that will and that determination, they don't have that, then they're not going to come back out the same way that they went in, especially when you're talking about state prison. Brother Betrayal said, and I am a testament to this here, Brother Betrayal said he got more education in prison than he received from any college classroom. He's a college graduate, went to college in Talladega. But the brother's real smart, real smart. He's like my little brother. He's real smart. He opens up restaurant chains all across the Southeast for the chain that he works for. And he's a troubleshooter. He just goes from from restaurant openings to restaurant, opening them up for him. And I can tell you, I used to go by his pod every day. There wasn't no cell. We had pods where it was partitioned off by brick partition. And he would have a stack of books this high. I promise you, a stack of books this high. And he would read all these books all day long. He's self-educated. I mean, he got a college degree, but he wanted more. So he educated himself more. He got a PhD from over there. He got his college degree from the college, but he got a PhD in there.
Oh yeah.
All he did every time I came by, he was reading one of those books. And in federal prison, you got that kind of easement. You got that type of atmosphere where you can learn and be the best that you can be. And sometimes you don't have that in other in the state prisons because it's a lot of chaos, because they don't have control of it as much as they would like to, I don't think. And that's all state prisons.
Yes.
Yeah. But
one of the things I want to say one thing before we go. I want to send a shout out to everybody that commented. Please hit that notification sign, hit that thumbs up button, because this will let more people know that this took place. Share it, share the video, share it, share it, share it. Anybody, if you didn't get a chance to see the presentation, I travel. I will go wherever you need me to go to do that live PowerPoint presentation. I will come out to your city, to your state, to your town. I don't charge. You let me know. I come there to do the PowerPoint presentation because I want people to get this word from somebody that is working in that environment. All the brothers that came up there today, if y'all want to see this thing on a Zoom, please leave your name and your information so I can run the video, because I want you to see the video that goes along with this PowerPoint presentation. And I'm more than willing to come wherever you need me to be to do this thing where it will help the youth or give somebody some inspiration, the dedication. I don't mind the perspiration to come down there to work hard and give it to you raw. I'm not going to come soft. I'm coming hard, but I'm trying to be that soldier for God. So y'all let me know and I'll get back in contact with you.
Okay, y'all got it. And what was that last comment? My wife said these books need to be shared with the youth that are in boot camps and detention centers. They have no clue of the real prison life. They don't. They don't. And that's one of the things that we need to try to get, that these books, so they can read them, so they can see this PowerPoint, so they can see it. They can see what they got coming once they get in there, because it's live or die in a lot of the prisons.
Yes, sir.
I was in Long Park, California in 1992, and we had 11 killings in 6 months. 11 killings in 6 months.
I want everybody to do this. They have been in the past, maybe 45 years, you have had 5 correctional officers murdered in the state of North Carolina. You had 4 of them killed over in Pasquotank Corrections. I give you the name so you can pull it up yourself. You can Google it. It's called Pasquotank, where 4 officers was killed, and then you had an officer killed down in Bertie, officers that were murdered. So if this is staff being killed, if this is people that work there that are losing their lives, can you imagine what's taking place to the people that's on the inside of it? And I keep telling you about this COVID thing. You don't realize how bad this COVID thing is until you go inside of a cell to take a body down to the morgue. And the body, because of the fever, was so high. Once you put them inside the bag, the body inside of the bag itself gets hot. That's how warm the body is. It warms up the body bag itself when you're taking it down to the morgue. That sounds very morbid. I'm trying to let you know and scare you and not coming into that. I'm trying my best to do everything I can to deter you from coming into this system.
Okay.
But with that said, God bless, no stress. Y'all stay the best.
And we appreciate you. Brother Keith comes on our show regularly to give us information. Today he just had a PowerPoint that he wanted to give. We'll probably play it again in a week or two. But he comes on our show regularly. We ask you to watch and support this platform. And we'll put all your information at the bottom of the ticker next week. AB, I know you out there in the mall. Buy me Brother Keith some.
AB, I bet your pockets look like rabbit ears.
Brother Bertrell said, peace, Keith.
All right, guys. God bless.
Okay, and we'll get with you. I'll call you later, my brother.
All right, now.